it's Shantae, and I am here recording how I prep my steak tacos. I wanted to give you guys a look at how I prepare. As you can see, I'm listening to my tunes. I'm waiting for my wine to get cold. Then it's going to be a whole party. So I'm basically cutting this steak, which is sirloin steak. You can either use flank steak, flat iron steak, or sirloin steak, whatever's on sale that week. And I'm cutting them into like cubes, like you see at Chipotle. That makes them cook a little better and more evenly. After I finish this, I'm going to make up a marinade for the steaks. I'm going to marinate it for about an hour and a half. And then I'll be back to show you guys how I cook it on the stove. These are going to be so good. I'm going to feature them with my Tayda sauce that is launching on October 1st. So make sure you check that out. And stay tuned for that. But literally, the Tayda sauce, it goes with any and everything. I mean, who doesn't want a sauce like that, right? All-purpose sauce? What? Get out of here. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut up this steak into the cube pieces like I showed you. What I'm seasoning the steak with, as you can see, it's lined up facing me, so I can make sure I remember to give you all the seasonings, dry seasonings I'm using. So the first seasoning is going to be cumin. The next is garlic powder, and then some dried oregano. I've also put some chili powder in here for a little spice. So for those of you who like spicy foods, feel free to add more, or even chili flakes. So also what goes in the marinade will be some soy sauce and a little bit of canola oil and lime juice. I'm also going to use the zest of a lime. Use all the food, all the ingredients in this. I mean, it's given to you for free, so why not use the zest? And it brings out more of a citrus flavor for you too. So I'm just chopping away. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put the meat in a Ziploc bag, and again marinate that for about an hour and a half in the refrigerator, and then I'm going to come back and cook it. And all you need to do is put it in a Ziploc bag, place the ingredients, which is the seasonings, the soy sauce, the lime juice, and the olive oil and canola oil in the Ziploc bag, and seal it up and put it in the refrigerator. We're all good there. I'm gonna wash my hands. Always wash your hands when you're messing with any type of meat. So I'm going to go ahead and add this meat into the bag. Opposite pan, and this is all the seasonings that I told you guys. Alright. Good. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of the canola oil. So I'm just going to find my correct measuring spoon and add that into the bag. Get it open. And this is just going to help it not stick to the pan, and also create a good natural sauce from the steak and the marinade. Should have opened this before I started, but I didn't. So bear with me. This is kind of like live, so y'all gotta bear with me. Okay. If you guys cook and you don't cook with music, man, game changer. So I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and this is low sodium. You want to make sure you get low sodium because, as you know, soy sauce is very, very salty. And because I am the camera girl and the chef today, I am going to make sure we're still rolling. So give me 1 second. And we are. Meanwhile, I'm still struggling with the soy sauce. But it's all good. We're gonna get there, Tayda. We got it. We got it, boo. You know? Alright, so again, we want the, make sure this is the correct one. It's not. We want the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, low sodium. Don't want that extra salt. Told you about the zest of the lemon, so I'm going to go ahead and zest that directly into the bag. You want to just make sure you get the most of the green stuff off. You don't want any of the white part because that's going to be bitter. So just a couple of strokes. Get all that good flavor in there. Whoop. Don't do that though. Or that. I told you guys this is live TV, so now I have to get another lime. But you guys get the point, right? It's gonna be bloopers, so I'm just gonna wash another lime off real quick. Feel free to laugh, it is all good in the hood, honey. Wash this off. And this just makes the juice circulate in the lime. Releases the natural juices. So let's try this again, okay? There we go. It's because I have these gloves on, but when I mess with any type of meat, I like to wear gloves. All right, so that should be enough. All right. I'm gonna squeeze some lime in here. Go ahead and do a whole lime. And if you have a really small lime, go ahead and do 2. Well, maybe 1.5. Your preference though. So to this, I am going to add some minced garlic. And I'm going to use that same zester that I used. I'm gonna rinse it off. Get my garlic. I thought I had all of my ingredients out, but apparently not.
Hey, are you looking for that tropical dance feel to keep your summer going? Okay.
Alright, so you want to do maybe 2 to 3 garlic cloves. Depending on how much you like garlic. And I cook everything with garlic, so I'm going to use 3. So I'm just going to grate this directly into the bag like I did the zest from the lime. And you can zest limes, lemons, oranges, any type of citrus. First one. So I hope you guys comment on this and let me know if you want more videos like this with me actually on camera and cooking. I don't do it because of the blooper moments, right? But it is what it is, y'all know. It is what it is. Gotta start somewhere. Alright, so this is coming up on the end of that. Alright, go ahead and push that on in there. Get all that thickness. Alright, I'm gonna wash my hands again. I freaking wash my hands though. Alright, so we have all of that in there. I just want to add a little pepper because I like pepper on everything. Alright, then we're going to close the Ziploc. Close said Ziploc. Get all the air out of it. Then we're going to massage the meat. Make sure you get all that seasoning into that steak. Show it some love. Shake it, roll it down, and go for So just continue to massage it around until you feel like it's fully coated. Now, you don't have to do this next step, but I want to, and this is something I'm just doing on the fly. Just to make sure the meat is tender, being that I'm not marinating it long. I just want to give it a couple of bams. You get this from Amazon. Very neat tool for pounding meat and tenderizing meat. And it was only about, I want to say $10, if that. That also helps that seasoning get down into the meat. Alright, so this is going to go in the refrigerator. We're going to give the outside of the bag a quick rinse because we use that cutting board. So I just want to make sure I'm not contaminating my refrigerator. And then I'm going to switch out my cutting boards and cut me up some tomatoes and some red onions. I was lazy and got pre-cut cilantro, so I don't have to do that. I'm just going to put this in the refrigerator. Alright. Switch out my stuff and change my knife.
For your free 1-month trial.
My hands went final wash.
Questions about where to go. Where's the right place? Is it nearby? Do they have the expertise?
I'm going to get the red onion.
Well, there's one place that always has answers. HCA Virginia.
Alright, and you want to chop the red onion as finely as possible. I'm going to put the tomatoes in here for now until I get my little container that I'm going to put them in, which is right here. I had just washed dishes before I started prepping, because I cannot cook in a dirty kitchen. So if there are dishes in the sink, honey, before I cook, we're gonna have to wash this. Pronto. Alright, switching out my knife. Now I'm just gonna cut these, and I'll show you how big I cut my little cubes. I also like Roma tomatoes because they're not as gushy as other tomatoes, and don't have as much juice to me. And I'm just cutting them into little, like, cubes that you would for salsa. So like this. Pick it up. Alright. This isn't that bad, guys. I don't know if y'all bored or not, but you know, I'm about to pour this wine up. Eat these good tacos with this good tater sauce. Now for the tater sauce, I will not be filming that because I gotta keep y'all coming back. So that's gonna be filmed offline. But again, it goes on sale October 1st. Alright, so that's that. I'm gonna wipe my cutting board. And my knife. Alright. Now to our onion. Again, I want this to be very finely sliced in small pieces. Nobody wants to bite into a big piece of it. That's not the business. So I'm gonna have the onion. And because I will probably be the only one eating onions, I'm not gonna cut that many. Drop down, pick it up. Alright, and I'm just gonna go in and again cube this very finely. Normally I would use a food processor because y'all looking at me and stuff. I want to go all over y'all like, yo, this this is Chef Tayda. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this, Chef Tayda. Let's do this. So we're gonna do it. Alright. I just wanna line these up and cut them very, 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 like, barely taste thin. So I'll cut a little bit and then I'll go back over it to make sure it's as thin as possible. So now just go back through them. Cut them. Sometimes they flour over the place. It's all good. It's real TV, baby. So I do a couple of strokes. Just as, I mean, however badly diced do you like them? And I'm like, I was about to start watering. That's how you know your onion is fresh. When you frying, you got a fresh joint. When you not frying, you need to throw that onion away, sis. Or bro. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go over this one more time. I think we're really good. Raw onions on tacos, honey. The business. So I'm going to continue to cut these onions, and then I'm going to work on my tater sauce, and I will be back once it's time to put these things together. Okay? Stay tuned. Whew, I can stop crying. Hey guys, so we're back. So I'm going to go ahead and cook the steak down for the tacos. As you know earlier, I marinated the tacos in some dried seasoning, soy sauce, and some canola oil. And that has been marinating for about maybe an hour 45-ish. So now it's time for the steak to come out. I'm going to remove it from the Ziploc bag and pat it dry. Patting your meat dry gives it the chance. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath because I just ran back to the camera. But patting the meat dry allows the meat to sear properly. So you know how you go to a steakhouse and you have a perfectly seared steak? That's what we want for the steak tacos. So that's the purpose of patting the meat dry, so you won't have all that moisture in the pan. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It only takes a couple of minutes, so. And if there's any like liquid left from your marinade, go ahead and save that. So we're gonna toss it. And I don't think I'm gonna have any, but that's fine. We're gonna toss it. You can toss that with the steak. That'll ensure it doesn't dry out, but this steak ain't gonna be dry. Alright, so that's all the steak, and I'm gonna go ahead and disregard this bag. Alright, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pat dry. Again, you don't have to do the most. Just want to make sure you get all the excess moisture off. I keep on forgetting to put my apron on, guys. And then by the end of the night, when I have all these splashes and stuff on my clothes, I'm gonna look crazy. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another piece of paper towel and do the process again. I just want to make sure it's as dry as possible. Alright. So press one more time. So when I cook this, I'm going to add some canola oil into the pan, and then I'm going to add a little bit of butter. As you know, butter makes everything better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And in front of me, I have what I'll be dressing the tacos with. So I have some tomato, I have some lettuce, some crispy like romaine mixture lettuce in the refrigerator. I have my cilantro, of course my potato sauce, some feta cheese, and some raw red onions, and of course our shells that we'll be using. And always, always, always with taco shells, you want to go ahead and heat those on the stove and make a world of difference. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and change angles, and I'll meet you guys at the stove. Alright guys, so we're back. I have let the canola oil heat up in the pan, so I'm not sure if you can see the steam coming from the pan, but that's exactly what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and carefully place the steak in the pan, and you don't want to move the steak around too much. Remember I said we're trying to get that nice brown coat on there. And don't crowd the pan if you have a lot of steak, because it won't cook properly. Adding these in. And then I have like a splatter guard, but guys, it's really raggedy. You know how you have your favorite utensil, and it's like my favorite, and I don't want to get rid of it. So it will have holes in it, just for FYI for you guys. A little bit more. Put these over a bit. You just want to cook these. You don't want to move them for at least a minute or so, and then you can start moving them around in the pan. So this is the first layer that I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and grab something so I can take the stick out when they're done. So again, this doesn't take very long. You definitely don't want to overcook the steak, so I'm not going to leave them in there long. Because these are small pieces, so they don't take long to cook anyway. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. Alright, so you see that they're starting to brown, and you know they're ready to flip once you see the brown crust go up on the sides. So I'm going to let it cook for a little bit longer, and then we'll go ahead and flip them over. I cannot wait to taste these. Taco Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and flip these over because they have been on that first side for long enough. So I'm just going to do a quick stir in the pan. Make sure you're getting a even browning on each side. And we're going to go ahead and take these out. And I'm going to cook the rest of them. But I'm not going to cook them all the way because I want to cook them in a little bit of butter before they're actually all the way done. So I'm going to go ahead and start removing these in just a bit. And since this is a cast iron pan, I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat down. Because if you have one of these, you know they get hot, extremely hot, and it will burn your food. And again, we're just going to let these cook. You don't want to see any of the red juice coming out, nothing like that. Right. Just gradually turning some over that I see some pinkness. But you see how we have that brown caramelization there? That's what you're looking for. Looks so good and smells even better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take these out. You guys realize I said go ahead and go ahead. It's been a long day, guys. So I'm going to go give these one more turn and go ahead and take them out. Go ahead and flip them over. One into the mess. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that next batch in. And I'm going to turn the heat back up on these because we want that same sear that we got. And you see how they're coated with like a sauce, a natural sauce from that marinade that we made? You can't tell me this is not going to be good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this back up. I am going to put a little bit more canola oil in here. Not much, just a little. Let that warm up a little bit. And I didn't even have to use my splatter guard. Isn't that great? Wiping off my stove. All right. Let's move this oil around a bit. All right. Put our next batch in. And you always want to hear a sizzle when you're cooking or sauteing meat. That means your pan is hot enough. If it doesn't make any noise when you put something in there, that means your pan is not hot enough. Just gonna wash my tongs off real quick while that's cooking. And again, we're gonna leave these alone until we see the browning crust around the edges. All right, I think it's safe for us to go ahead and spare these now. Yep. And with the ones prior, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw them directly back in the pan once we get some more searing going on these pieces. Make sure everybody gets the love. And fun fact, when you're cooking steak, you never want to press out your steak because that's pressing out all the juices. So never, ever, ever press your meat because it's going to dry it out. All right, just a couple more seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other pieces of steak back into the pan now and add my butter. Give these a quick stir. I mean, this looks amazing by itself. And you want to get a nice little scoop of butter here. And let each piece of the steak coat itself. And this is unsalted butter, by the way. I'm also going to turn down the heat because at this point, you know butter burns, so we don't want to burn the steak. You see how it's coating and giving that extra That's what you're looking for right there. And I can go ahead and turn off the heat because at this point, our steak is done. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up some shells and then I'll meet you back to dress the tacos. Okay guys, so I'm back. I am going to dress the steak taco for you. We have our prepared steak here that has been resting, which means the juices are redistributing back into the meat. So I'm just going to give this a quick stir. I cannot wait to eat this. All right, and I have toasted my shell. I'm just going to add a few pieces of steak into the taco shell. You don't want to overcrowd it. You want it to be just enough, right? Like, just enough. Maybe I'll add one more piece in there. Yeah, that's good. Cover this back up. Okay, now I'm going to add a little cilantro. Yummy. And some red onion. And this gives it a little heat, a little bite to it too. I like onions, so don't mind me. Alright, put the top on that. Alright, and I have some feta cheese that I'm gonna add. And I was thinking, on this one, I don't think I want tomato. And I love this feta cheese. It's so mild. And being that I'm not putting sour cream on this taco, that's like a substitute for me. The creaminess is just great. Then I have that shredded crunchy lettuce I was telling you guys about. I mean, look at that. That's looking delicious already, right? We're just missing what? that Tayda sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and shake this Tayda sauce up. And you can add as much or as least as you would like. Alright, that should be good. I like it saucy, so I'm gonna go ahead and drizzle that thing all over there like that. I mean, this looks amazing. I mean, look at that. Come on. I'm gonna go ahead and taste it because that's what they do on Food Network. Alright. Fold that over. Here we go. See, I can't even compose myself. This steak is so juicy. I mean, the compliments of the onion, the cilantro, the crunch of the lettuce. Y'all have to try this. Chipotle who? Try this. It's so good. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to finish these tacos. You guys have a great night. Happy Taco Tuesday.